Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rami Branitsky, and I'm a partner at Sapphire Ventures. We are a premier venture capital investor with about $1.4 billion under management. And our mission has always been to invest in tomorrow's global category leaders, and actually we have a bunch of them over here today with us. We're proud to have funded about 130 disruptive companies to date. And in recent years, we also add another element to our platform, which is a leading early stage ventures funds as well. We've invested in about 20 plus venture capital firms in the last few years, which allows us to have a much broader breadth of companies that we see, talk to, and introduce to customers as well. In addition to making winning investments, another integral part of the Sapphire platform is our unique market development capability. And market development capability that we have really has one key goal, which is pretty simple but powerful, which is to add value to our companies and make sure that they're positioned for the hyper growth. Given the stage in which we invest, scale really matters, and our ability to amplify our company's effort and help them scale is super critical. And one of the things that we're doing is also try to help our companies in terms of operational excellence. So a forum such as today's summit, we do these things pretty often because we want to encourage learning on key questions of operational excellence and really build this valuable community among peers and practitioners such as yourselves. And I'm proud to say that we've been successful, as measured by 30 exits over the course of the last 3-4 years, which is phenomenal. And recently, we've been recognized by CB Insight, which is the new Silicon Valley benchmark for measuring venture capital firms, as the top 5 VC as measured by exits. So we're very proud of it and hope to share the excitement and energy with you today as we go. So why this event and why now? Having invested and actually looking at hundreds of companies probably a year, we like to think that we've developed what VCs like to call, pattern recognition. And the following pattern is clear. As the race to the top of the SaaS food chains intensifies, companies that have mastered the customer success and retention are the ones that really excel. And we proudly boast present and portfolio companies such as LinkedIn, Box, DocuSign, another one. One of the things that they all have in common, besides being funded by us and backed by us, is their customer obsession. And I think it was Clayton Christensen who said that companies that put customer experience at their core are the ones who will be the next winners. And this is something that we feel very passionate about, and hopefully that's something that will inspire throughout the day. And if you look at operational metrics in the SaaS cohorts, the same story is validated. And interestingly enough, over time, if you look at even seemingly minor changes in churn, it can compound itself and have a lot of implications as far as your top line. And so top line revenue growth is really impacted by your ability to retain your customers. And if you look at profitability by the same token, it is sustainably more profitable to retain and grow existing customers versus acquiring a new one. And in fact, we found some empirical data that shows that it's about 1/4 of the cost to upsell an existing customer versus acquiring a new one, which I think is very telling. So it's not surprised that the Chief Customer Success Officer title is something that is very prevalent and we see increasingly at SaaS companies, with SaaS CEOs deploying dollars, technology, and strategic intent around this position, because there is a fundamental understanding that the success of the Customer Success Officer is really the success of the company. A lot of successes. And in response to this trend, we also see an increasing array of companies and solution providers who sell to the Chief Customer Success Officer. And in fact, I know a few of you over here who are with us today. Thank you for joining us, some of these solution providers as well. What is it that you want to know? So we actually conducted a quick survey ahead of the event, and we asked some basic questions to understand what would make this event powerful, especially given the fact that we have some leaders here and practitioners in the industry. And we wanted to know what really matters when it comes to mastering the discipline of customer success. And here's what we've heard from you. One is that you have real desire to get to the true essence of what defines customer success. And Equally as important, how to measure it, which I think is one of the key things that we'll talk about today. You'd like to understand how customer success, and particularly the organization or the function, should partner with different functions in the organization. And time again, what we hear is, how should I partner with sales? How should I partner with the professional services? Who do I, in the organizational design, do I put it under the CEO or is it part of sales, part of professional services? That's one of the things that we'll talk about later on as one of the panels. And last but not least, you want to know how to build a winning customer success organization. And because finding, hiring, and as well as grooming the right talent is critical for this function, we're hosting this event together with JAM Search, which is a premier talent search firm that is vastly experienced in terms of placing leaders at top SaaS companies. Thanks again, JAM Search, for your partnership on this. We also ask a few questions about how you approach customer success today. And maybe by show of hands, how many of you here are customer success officers? Quite a bunch. So actually, interestingly enough, about 75% of the companies who are here have a customer success officer in place already, which is fantastic. And about 60% of those customer success leaders are reporting to the CEO, which I thought was also interesting in terms of just underlying the significance that CEOs now place on that function organizationally. The three most common key performance indicators for the customer success leaders are, not surprisingly, first and foremost, reduced churn. It is increasing upsell. And then it is maximizing customer happiness, which is really the sort of like the underlying tenet of the whole thing. And if you have a happy customer, you can upsell and you obviously will retain them, or you have better chances of retaining them. And all of these topics will be actually covered throughout the agenda, as you'll see later on. We'll try to cover all these topics and make sure that we give you insight and more fundamental information about what you need to know as practitioners and leaders in terms of these things. And we've been really, I got to say, my team and I, we've been overwhelmed with the tremendous response we've seen for this event. And it couldn't be clearer that this is an emerging trend and people want to talk about it now and better understand how to take it to the next level.